So to make the most out of your grid that your photo is printed onto, we can actually also create a grid on our blank sheet of paper. The first thing you're going to need is a scissor. We're just going to cut the excess off of this paper. So if you have a scissor at home, you can just trim the edges. Go right up against the grid. Always be careful with scissors, keep them away from your fingertips, obviously. Scissor safety 101, right? Okay, that's all you'll need your scissors for, so you can put them aside after that and get rid of your scraps. Then we're going to take one of the pieces of paper out of this black folder that's in your art folder. Okay, what we're going to do is we'll just line up our photo. And we're just going to hold it in place, or you can tape it if you're worried about it shifting. And just make a mark where every line appears. Do the same thing at the bottom. If you're worried it might shift, you definitely want to put a piece of tape on it. We'll do this on the sides as well. Okay, you can remove the photograph, and then all you're going to do, take a ruler and very lightly connect your lines, as lightly as possible. We are going to eventually erase the grid, so you almost want to be whispering with the pencil. Okay, so I'm just lining up each dot and connecting it across the paper. I think I missed this first one. Get that first one. Okay, and then we'll go the opposite direction. Now, obviously, if you don't have a printer at home and you're working virtually, you can skip the grid, and instead you can line up your portrait just based on the facial proportioning that we learned in the video. So you don't need a grid. It's an extra step, but it does help when you're drawing later, because then you can kind of just look one box at a time and draw what you see one box at a time. I'm kind of pressing a little harder than I normally would, just so that you can see the lines on your video. But when you draw these, they should be drawn so light that you can hardly see them. Okay, then you'll notice on your photo, there are letters across the top and numbers down the side. So you want to copy those exactly. So you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and I. And the same letters go across the bottom. And then going along the side, you have 1 through 12. Try to draw these on the lighter side as well, because these will also eventually be erased. And what these are going to do, these are going to give you coordinates, so that when you go to draw, you can kind of say, I don't know where to start. Well, okay, if I'm starting with the face shape, what square does it start in? So if I wanted to start at the top of the hairline, I could say, okay, it starts in E3. Kind of find those coordinates, and then find box E3 over here. Say, okay, what kind of a shape does it make inside that box? Right, and I could say, okay, so it kind of starts here on the box and curves downward. Right, and you're almost filling in each box that way, looking back and forth from your photograph to your drawing to see what does each shape do, where does it cross each line, and eventually you'll be able to create all of the shapes in your drawing. And it's important for you to remember the basic proportions. Like we learned that the eyes go halfway down the face and that the nose goes then halfway from the eyes to the chin. It's good to know those things so that you can kind of double check what you're doing and make sure that it's accurate proportion wise and not just following the grid. Okay, so this is just the outline of the face shape, not including the top of the hair. All right, but you're kind of starting to see an idea. Like if I want to draw this eye, I see it's in box D5 towards the bottom right corner of the box, right? So if I find box D and 5, I know it kind of crosses over to here, and this is the shape created by that eye. Okay, so you're going to keep going through your portrait like that if you're using the grid. Good luck, everyone.